One second. And I might have to pop the camera on and off again because I think the internet is a little shaky. But
Okay.
good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining. So today we have a guest, and Anne Marie Harvey, who Anne Marie started at the Penn North location at the Enoch Pratt Library, and now she's at the Orleans Street location. But we've been partnering for a few months, and it's been great. It's really been great. So, Anne Marie, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to you. So today's focus is about
Mhm. She froze.
I know most people think it's just for books and to do research and things like that, but it's definitely much more. So, Anne Marie, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay, well, good evening. I did start at Pennsylvania Avenue in 1997.
No,
I started,
really?
yes, I started there as a teen librarian. And then I went on to
Wow.
Cherry Hill and I stayed at Waverly for about almost 18 years. And then I've been bouncing around since, but I'm officially 29 years in. And so
Congratulations.
it's been a minute.
Congratulations.
It's been a minute with the Enoch Pratt Library.
Yeah.
Hi. Oh, is this a news note taker? I'm not sure I know
Yeah.
what that is. What is that?
Yeah. It's one of our clients. She has like a note taker. It's an AI tool.
Okay. I mean, the
Yeah.
technology is there. So,
Yeah, the
you
technology
know.
is there.
All
The
right.
technology is there.
All right. So this evening we have just about an hour or so of just some quick things that may be helpful to you, your children, someone in the community, about what we have at the Pratt Library. I don't know if you can show me by raise of hand how many people actually have a library card.
Yeah.
So, that's the biggest thing to start with is having a library card. I am going to share my screen, and I am going to like jump around a little bit at any time. Let me minimize this a little bit. I think we're side by side. So, gonna make this over here. All right. So you can see that when we start out, we're on the main site. Have you, it's hard for me to get a gauge as to whether or not you've been on this website. And if you have questions while you're on the website, you may want to jot them down a little bit for me. Okay. But the first thing to understand is that when you get to the website, depending on your computer, or if you're using it on the phone, it's a little different in what you see when you first get online. There's usually sometimes a message at the top for branch, if we're closing because of an event, building emergencies, and any other type of information that we need to get to the public. So it's always a good idea to kind of sometimes go and see whether or not we are open to the public. On the landing page, usually we always have like the current initiative, whether it's Read to Reef, whether it's Summer Break Baltimore, whether it's Port Discovery, you name it, you will find that information usually on the first page. Okay. Um, how do I want to start this? Let's see. So while I'm here, you are seeing the website as basically on a computer. So you see that you can find out about our location and hours, books and more, events, research, services, and library cards. If there's anyone here who does not have a library card, you can always start by getting a library card, like an e-card that allows you to use the resources online. And a lot of times we have people just sign up for an e-card because they don't want to check out books, but they want to use the computers, or they may want to use the streaming services to get movies and listen to As you can see, we also have what is called the first card. And little people get their first card from birth up until the age of 6, and then they'll get a regular card. So if you have little ones, please sign them up for library cards, especially now that we're doing Read to Reef. They are able to get a card and get a bookmark when they come into the library, as long as we have them. And you have one bookmark will take 6 people to the aquarium for free. And that's for all the children who are in 5th grade and below in Baltimore City. At this time, there are places where they've given out 200 plus brochures already. At the Orleans Street branch, we are fighting to get our parents to come in and pick up those bookmarks. And the only thing they have to do is make sure the child has a library card. At any time, if anyone has a question, I guess there's a chat option also, or we can wait until I just go through a few more of the website, and then we can go from there. You have your regular library card, out-of-state visitors passes, and we also have a teacher card. If you're a teacher, there are different ways that you can borrow multiple copies of a book, especially if you're doing a specific topic. This is Women's History Month. Maybe you're focusing on women in science and you need, about 16 books, just on that topic. You can check with your librarians that will help you gather those resources for your classroom. Okay. One of the things also is anytime I need to go back to the library's main page, I just click on where it says Enoch Pratt Free Library, and I can go from there. I encourage people to also use the events calendar. Sometimes it's amazing what you find when you go to the events calendar. If you're a senior, if you're a teen, if you're looking for story time, after school, tutoring. This is an event for 1st grade homeschoolers. They have a virtual event where they take the computer classes, and all you have to do is click on it and sign up, to be able to do that. There are also yoga, line dancing, you name it. There is a lot that's going on at the library. And again, if you have a particular category, if you want to do adults, you can see that there, some of the different exercises, the workshop. There's some basic life skills that's done at the Pennsylvania Avenue branch. Workplace readiness is also in the computer lab. Getting your resumes together, help with job searching. Okay. And then, like, if you have specific questions, you have the digital drop-in. Ooh, I clicked on that one. And it tells you the date, the time. Well, it was today, but they have other dates. You can see the other dates. And you can see that it's at the Southeast Anchor branch, depending on where you live. And then it tells you what you need to do. And you can just go from there. There's no registration. Some of them you will see registration required. So you have to be mindful of that also. I wanted to also show, let's see, the library locations. It's very hard to do. Let's do a stop sharing for a minute. What's your closest library for those who are in the room? You can unmute yourself and let me know.
For me, it's Randallstown.
So you're in the county.
Mm-hmm.
Do you use a city branch?
I used to use Evanston from time to time.
Okay, well, Edmondson is still open. I know that we have a few that's being renovated, so sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to get to, some of the other ones because of the renovations. And I just wanted to get an idea as to who's here and whether or not, they're close to a local branch. I could go on and on about a lot of what we have, but I think I'm more curious as to maybe questions. because I can show you different places to go and get books and some of the services that we have, but do you have like specific questions that you'd like me to address? Because I'm not getting any feedback to know whether or not, there's some things that we can just
Like
focus on.
specifically.
Yeah,
Yep. Does
yeah.
anybody have any specific questions? I have a question, but I'll let others go first.
Hmm.
Okay. No, no
No
questions. Oh,
question.
I thought Tammy popped in because she had a question, but I had a question. What do
Hmm.
you think is the most utilized resource and the most underutilized resource that people may not tap into?
Okay. Our computers are
Hmm.
well used.
Okay.
I mean, the computer session and our electricity.
Yeah. And
You
and the
know,
Wi-Fi and the
and
Wi-Fi.
the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
So that's heavily used. I don't even know what our electricity bill is like for the library
Wow.
system, because every person they come in, they have the phones, the laptops, the power
Yeah.
bank. I mean, we charge wheelchairs, you,
Wow.
you name it.
I never
We
thought about that.
Ooh,
Like that in that kind of space. Okay. Okay.
I've even had someone charged an ankle bracelet.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. But I mean, those are just they're utilized. I mean, whether for recreation, for finding jobs, for just entertainment, for those who are
Yeah.
taking exams. Say for instance, you want to get your GED. We have websites that you can, I mean, research databases that you can go to. I think that the biggest thing that I would say we're underutilized in that people don't ask us the questions, that can
Mm.
help get
Okay.
them to certain resources. And
Okay.
sometimes when we do that, we have people who it's like it's a rush. It's like a last minute, oh my gosh, my resume, and I need to go for this interview. And, da, 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 da. And
Yeah.
some days, if it's busy, you may not get as much attention as if maybe it was planned out and someone could have actually helped you with the resume, get it on a thumb drive, get it in your Google Drive, show you how
Right.
to upload it to a website, things like that. But a lot of times is that they don't really utilize, I think, the staff and the resources that we have access to. I think that's a good question, though. That's really a good
Wow.
question. And I really believe that I would love to see in our community, especially, people check books out of the library.
Mm.
We are not just computers. And, we can have books that are new, and there are no families checking those books out. I can go to different communities and I can see families come in and each child will check out 10 books.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, they're board books, they're simple chapter books. We have graphic novels. I mean, there's so many books that we have where people just are not checking out books, old fashioned books. It, it gets the I think it just is it's a great for me why I would recommend the books, especially. Um, Parents need to share more of that information and that one-on-one type of quality time with little people, especially, just so that they gauge reading levels, make sure that the children are, progressing, not just for the teachers, but make sure that they're doing the things that they need to do at home, because we see a lot of students who are really, they're not proficient at all, and sometimes that presents some issues, in the library. But I definitely would say, um, utilize our books. you know, we have cookbooks, we have books on gardening, we have books about health, books about history. It all depends on what it is that you're looking for. But that was a good question, though.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah. Um, I can also talk about the fact that we gave away probably around 50,000 Chromebooks, and we still have people asking about Chromebooks, but we are not giving them away anymore. people are placing holds on them, and they can borrow them for like 12 weeks at a time. And we also do that with hotspots. However, the lists are long. The lists are
Oh,
really,
wow.
yeah.
Wow.
We have hundreds of people on the wait list. Some things, some equipment are damaged, some are not. Some are missing, like people don't return them. Even though you can return it late, as long as you return it, you will not be charged for it. And that's the same thing with our books. We don't charge you to check out items. Like if you have it and it's overdue, we won't charge you for it. As long as you bring it back. And we've been doing that for the last few years because there were some parents who did not want their children to actually check out books because they didn't want to have to pay for them. But
Wow.
yeah, but you learn, just teach the little people how to take care, of the books and things like that. Welcome to the people coming in. I am basically just trying to get direct questions because I can tell you about a lot of resources, but that's like me telling you about your foot, but it's your head that's hurting you. And
I do have a question about like funding, particularly for Penn North and I guess Orleans, or I guess the Enoch Pratt libraries that are in urban areas.
Mhm.
So if the resources aren't utilized as they should be utilized, what happens to funding, and then therefore what could possibly happen to staff as a result of being underutilized?
I think some of the people in the room can guess. Then you have no need for us. You have no need for your libraries. We get a lot of people to come in, and as I said, they use the Wi-Fi and they use the electricity, they use the computers, but some of the resources, such as, and I can go into some of those too, research databases. When the students are now in school, they're doing Chat GPT and Wikipedia. And so they're not using the Encyclopedia of African American History. They're not using the Encyclopedia of Music, whatever the subject is. They're not using those reference sources. And slowly but surely, sometimes because of the amount of money that we pay for them, some are actually, they're removed, they're withdrawn, they're gone. But also, Enoch Pratt Library is also the state library. So we do get some funding because we're a state library, especially the main library downtown. So, we'll always have a good amount of materials, but we also have a way of borrowing materials from other places.
Okay.
If you come in and you need a book and we don't have it in Pratt, we usually can get it for you. We can also show you how to search for it and have it come to the branch that's close to you. Um, I do want to show, because I know you also have a lot of resources that you share with your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a good thing. I'm going to show you this page here. Let's see if we can get onto that page. Okay. So let's see. If you're on your computer, because I don't have a full screen, you can use what they call the hamburger navigation. And I will go into services. Um, you can actually book a librarian. You can actually do a live chat with the librarian. Um, this is our interlibrary loan processes. And we also have like meeting rooms that you can um, rent or reserve. The policies are different for nonprofit and for profit groups. There's a fee for for profit groups, except that you cannot have like birthday parties and showers and things like that. But sometimes, we have outside groups that would want to come in and hold a staff meeting. We use government agencies and stuff. There are people who may need assistive technologies. We have some an entire young lady is responsible for that within the Pratt. We also have it where those who are unable to come into the library, we do books by mail. Um,
Mm,
and, and then we also have like the outreach services. I know a lot of people ask about the social impact programs.
mhm.
Um, you can let me know if you have a question because I'm just going through the page to show what some of what we have. Like wellness at the Pratt, we get nursing students from the University of Maryland. They'll come in and they'll
Nice.
engage the community with, blood pressure issues, referrals, resources. There's also the Lawyer in the Library program that's been very successful over the years. We also have peer navigators. Um, they work not in every branch, but they're scattered throughout the system. We also have social worker in the library. They can help people. A lot of times we have the elders and seniors and people maybe with some literacy issues. And a lot of information now is online and
Mhm.
it puts a lot of people at a
Yes.
disadvantage. And it
Yes.
is it is it is absolutely mind blowing to have someone come from social services and come into the library and they tell us the social services staff they sent them to the library,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult to kind of like give
Yeah.
that one-on-one attention. So sometimes especially like we had someone today, and what I would do is basically just tells you what we can do, when we meet with them to help them, and then also we tell them what we cannot do,
Mhm. Mhm.
because we don't want to cross those lines. But referrals and things like that. We also have like just older adults and people with disabilities and things that we can help them with. And there are different ways of contacting the social worker. Drop-in hours at the Central, Pennsylvania, Southeast, and the Waverly branch. And this is based a lot because of the lack of maybe students and staff, so they're not in all of the different branches, but every now and then they may pop up in we have a pop-up social worker, and that's every Monday, every first Monday, but that's not a lot. But at the same time we can refer them to the other locations. And so that's just and the housing navigators, again, that's I don't I know that you guys, I love having you guys in the lobby and having access to your flyer, so that I can say to someone when they come in with those type of questions, to just go ahead and reach out to you all. We are basically in the business of connecting people to information and resources. There is no gatekeeping, as they would say, about information. Information is meant to be shared, and information is meant to be shared in such a way that it helps those who are in need of that assistance. I do want to show one more thing here. Books and more. Okay, you can always browse the catalog, but you can also look at the children's catalog, children who are 6 to 11, there are 0 to 5-year olds. Then you have your teens and you have your adults. They always show like new titles, and you can always place a hold on a new title, even before we get it on our shelves. Again, we have the interlibrary loan and we have the library of things. And this is good for teens. They have sewing machines. They have
Mm.
guitars. Let me see if I can open
Wow.
this one. Let's see if I can make it bigger. So you have a full screen right now, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So here we have Children's Library of Things, the to-go kits for STEAM, technology and art, and then we have the Teen Library of Things. I'll go into the teen ones for now. And it tells you the age group. I mean, a 10-year-old is not a teen. However, that's what we have, 10 to 19, and they give it to you for 3 weeks, and it can be renewed if there are no holds. Maybe you want to learn to play an instrument. You can say there are more music items. Let me see. Will it come up? Did it come up to this one? An amplifier, digital tuner, the keyboard. Okay.
Wow.
So, I mean, and more.
Yeah.
A
And now I
fiberglass
never knew
bongo.
this. I
Okay.
never knew this.
Okay. Well, there you go. Then you
There
have,
you
oh my
go. Yeah.
gosh, a record player.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And then they have more audio visual things. And then, you click on that, you get the turntable, the tripod, So that's what they have on that one. Oh, I didn't share that one. Let me see. I'm going to close that. And so let's see where we are. Yeah, I think I closed the wrong window. Teen Library of Things. Okay. Sorry. It's a matter of jumping out and jumping back in. Okay. All right. So we have that. And as I was saying, that they have the STEAM kits. There's some of these that I've never seen because they're held downtown, but they can be sent out to different branches. They have the sewing machines.
Wow.
There's some other sports and equip and entertainment kits. Um, and again, like I said, it's one of those things that people like, oh, that's the library. Why do they have this? But you have people with different talents, different
Yeah.
interests. And if someone can maybe learn how to sew, who knows? Next fashion designer loading.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean,
Yep.
and it's one of those things where let me see if I can get to this one. Um, I want to do I'm gonna go back. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go back to the library of things. Uh, okay. And each branch you go into, there are these children's library of things, and you can always put a hold on them. Alphabet, nesting and stocking blocks. I mean, you name it. A little working with the cash register. You can borrow these items. Um, no fees, just bring them back. Let me see if this one came up. Okay. So like with this one, let's see what, oh, come on. And then you can see the different types of bags of materials and library of things that we have. Um, a nesting and stacking blocks, the shape sorter. I mean, most parents will have some, but sometimes, it's good to know that you can borrow these items. Okay. Um, let's see.
I don't see it.
Let's go back to this one right here. And I will say that one of the things, I know you probably won't remember this, but I'll still share it anyway. Um, Under services, you have the ability to actually, I'm sorry, I'm moving a little bit fast. Where it says copies, printing, scanning, and fax, not a lot of branches have fax machines these days. And I know
Yeah.
that's a service that people ask for. However, one of the things that we encourage our patron to use is the wireless printing. So if I am home, I can load my documents. I can upload my files. Let me
Hmm.
see if it goes. I can upload my files, putting in my information, you know. My computer is set up a little bit different. um, to let me and see. And with this one, I can upload a file, select the file to upload, and I can go to any branch to print it.
Oh, wow.
Just walk in, go to a print release station and print my documents. And it should be good for within 24 hours. This is a great resource to have, especially if you're home and your ink runs out and you need to get something printed. You can do that.
Wow.
Okay. But again, like I said, it is one of those tools that sometimes when people come in and if they have the patience, we we love showing you how to do this because
Yeah.
pretty soon we'll just watch you come in and go to the copier, ding, 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 and print and all of that. We're still giving away 20 free copies every day. We're up. If you want to get the color copies, it's only 10 copies for the day, right? 10 times 20, $2. Okay.
$2. Not bad. Not bad.
Right. So sometimes you may
That,
have to print in color or black and white. At this point, it is
mhm.
still free for that. You can add money if you have to print more, but it's every day.
Yeah, and that definitely beats going to Staples.
Yes.
Staples is expensive.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. And so, we have that. Let me see if there's something else I wanted to show. We also have video games. You can borrow two video games, and there are places where we still have DVDs. I don't think that we'll ever go out of like having DVDs because people still
Okay.
have their machines, to play their
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
videos, and we're still getting movies, and people like to go back and watch, older
Oh,
movies.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's heavily circulating item at my branch and a lot of other places. People still like to come
Okay.
in and watch their DVDs. Let me see if I can go back here. But yes, again, like I said, printing, wireless printing, it has an app that you can download, but it's not necessary. And then, like I said, you have accessibility services. People sometimes in the library, we have these large print books. We also have, I think, let me see if I can find the name for it. It tells you if you can get in and out of the library, if it's ADA compatible. Unfortunately, like the Pennsylvania Avenue and their meeting room and the Light Street and their meeting room, they'll let you know that you can't access it,
Yeah.
if you're unable, right, right. And that's a sticky point. But I mean, the buildings are a lot older. And
Yeah.
so they were not redesigned to, with the laws that have been passed over the last few years. There's also a machine that we have that helps the visually impaired and is very good to use when you come into the library. We don't have a lot of people using it because I think that they're just not aware of those computers.
Mm.
Right. And so it uses Zoom text and JAWS and, like assistive software so that you're able to,
Right.
this is what is called the Optelec, clear view in speech. And it's really good. It's really good. Books on, we don't really have a lot of books on CDs like we used to before. And I don't know where they have books on tape. That's not true.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
because now you can stream those services, and this is probably one of
Exactly.
the ones I'm going to go to here. We're going to go back to our main page and we're going to go back to research, and we're going to go back to um oh, this is a good website also, career and test preparation. I'm telling you, if you
Okay.
need to take, you need your library card to use it from home. I already logged in because I knew I was going to demonstrate some of this. And so you
Okay.
name a test that you want to take.
What about a praxis test?
Praxis.
XIS.
Do
Just
you see the
the
options that it
core.
came up with?
Yep.
And it may have flashcards. It may have, all videos, you name it. This is a good resource. People who are doing adult literacy or early education or, SATs,
GD.
Oh, yep. And all you have to do is just use it. And again, like I said, these are databases that if people are not using them, they will go away.
Mhm.
And I mean, they may give you flashcards and, career development plan, academic skills. I just say that to the people who are here, there are different resources, grades 4 to 8, an educator resource, college admissions test prep, high school equivalency center. So there's a lot of information. If you have a Spanish speaking client, we have information also. Um, Let me see if I can go into here. But this is an excellent
Okay.
database to use. And all you have to do is click there, sign in, register, make sure you have a library card, and you can go back and forth and use it at your own pace. Um,
Yeah.
I know that I always tell my staff members that a big part of let me put this back here. A big part of my job and why I'm a librarian is that I'm really a nosy person. I'm curious. I mean, I want to know a lot of stuff. I mean, to be honest, I know a lot of stuff. I learn a lot of stuff
Hmm.
every day, and there's still a lot of stuff I don't know. Maybe we'll never know, but I'm curious and I'm going to find it. Most people will say, "Oh, you've gone down the rabbit hole," and that's me. If it's something that I need to find out, I am going to find out. Okay? It's either it's not there but I am going to find out. I want to show you this database. This is Canopy, okay? And Canopy is a streaming service that we have. This one is Canopy for Kids. And they have some books, and they have like some of the books they actually make into little videos. So, I do not like Miss Rachel, and I do not like the other ones. What is it, Coca Melon?
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm talking to those who have little people.
Yeah.
I personally don't like them, but like they give you little things, and you can find out like little cute educational videos and things that books that you grew up with. Danny and the Dinosaur, you can actually have it, and
Oh,
it's like
wow.
animated, and they're just really who is Boo. And so they'll do it. You can watch it. It's only like 7 minutes.
Right.
Um, and you can see that they're just animated, and it's just a very interactive and just another fun way of spending time with your little people. Once it loads, if it loads, it may have some issues. um
Who is Boo? And is a notebook?
okay, so you can hear that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
So I won't play that for you because I know you're not little people, but I love children's books anyway. So, but again, like I said, it is something that you may be able to share with your little people, or even for you. There are times that I run across adults who may have literacy issues, and we have these books in the library that's like a read along book. I mean,
Hmm.
back in the days, you used to have that plastic bag with the book and the tape, and you would listen to the tape and it goes beep and you move to the next page. We now
Right.
it's all built into one book. They call it a Vox book or read along book. And it's an excellent resource. But on Canopy, you can also get, let me see if I can get to it. On Canopy, you can get to movies. So I know that I haven't had Netflix in years. Years. I haven't had Netflix. And I don't miss it because that's more money for me to pay, and I don't want to do that. But if you were to go to Canopy, let's see if I can go back a little bit. You can stream movies. Let me go to. I have so many windows open on my computer. You are not going to believe it.
Well, I'm
Uh,
glad it's not just me. I'm glad.
no,
all the time. I'm like, what am I working on? I got all these windows open.
Listen, the brain will be popping, okay? And when the brain is popping, Anne
Yep,
Marie is all over the place because my brain is, as I
yep.
said, I'm curious, I'm nosy, I'm busy, my mind is busy. Um, I'm going to share something with you too. There is a site that we have for digital Maryland collections. Do you know that we collect obituaries? Which is just so weird to me, but we do. Sometimes you have people who are into history, genealogy, and you may see some things like old buildings, what the your neighborhood
Wow.
looked like. With I mean, when you go
Or
back and look at the marble steps,
yeah,
it's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Photographs of, African American men, Prince George's, um, Baltimore Clayworks collection, and all of them, you can view the collection. It is just an amazing resource, and you never know. Let me see if ARCHSOC, maybe like the Art Social Club. Sometimes you'll get images. Sometimes they may have someone who would have given them photos. This is a funeral program for someone. I don't know what his business was with the Art Social Club, but we have quite a few obituaries, you know. And it's just an interesting resource that I've seen. Um, Most people be like, really, do they have that? But if you're into history, kind of like a hit. I love history too. I love to see what Baltimore looked like then. If you want to like find out about cookbooks or recipe, like old Maryland cookbooks. Don't forget that a lot of our history um, may have been more oral than written. So sometimes, going back, um, you can go back and see some of the things, the Chesapeake Bay through the ebony eyes. Um, it's just a lot of, I love this type of stuff. So I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but it may be helpful, depending on, say for instance, when your children, I'm going to stop sharing for just a minute. When your children are in school and they're doing like their history project, it's a great resource. Those are what you call primary resources. And so, rather than just go Google, they can come get a little bit more into it, into the learning part of it, into the research part of it. All the
and I think it's a
departments that
different
are down,
feel too. It's a different
it is.
feel when you go to the library. I mean, it's really authentic research. It's way different, in my opinion, than Google. It's more tangible. It's more hands on. It's more. It's just more. It's just more. Not to say Google is
It
bad. It's
puts
just
you in the
more.
mindset that you're here for something serious. You're here to learn
Yeah.
something, especially
Yeah.
if you're a student. I mean, we have different things that are more fun. We have paint nights, we have line dancing, we have crafting programs, you name it, we have it. And so, it's just another great way of just encouraging the residents of Baltimore City to use their libraries, use your local libraries. There's a lot more that we could go into. What I will leave you with is this. Please make sure you have a library card, even if it's an e-card. Any branch, any librarian, any staff member should be able to help you to get a library card with your ID. An e-card, you don't need an ID because you won't be borrowing books physically. You'll be borrowing books digitally. And even if you can't hold the books in your hand, it's still a good idea that you're able to still, read the book. I love audiobooks. So in my car when I go in, the latest novel I'm listening to comes on. So a lot of people now may have a vehicle that can do that. You hook up your USB to your phone and you can play through the car. That's good for me. Some people don't like it. They say to put them to sleep, and I don't want anyone sleeping while they're driving. So don't do it if you can't stay awake. Um, And again,
So
like
Anne
I
Marie,
said, there's
before we, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead. There's so much. I just need to know if
Yeah.
there are any questions based on what, I've shown so far.
Yeah. So I'm 100% good with what you've shown. Some of the things I definitely didn't know even existed in a library, such as the instruments.
Mhm.
But I do have a question around food. You guys have food as well, right?
Okay, now that's a little tricky.
Okay.
We have the free market, which is at the Southeast branch, and I don't know if they know about it, but let me see if I can bring that up. Um, it's called the Pratt Free Market. I'm gonna just see if I can bring that up. Um, and it operates a little bit differently than what we do at the Orleans branch and the Pennsylvania Avenue branch and the Brooklyn branch. We have a pantry. We have like a fridge. Every Wednesday we get a delivery. Um, they may deliver just some, separate produce. And then another week they'll just send us like a box of produce, no meats, no dairy stuff. And sometimes they ask if we want eggs or something like that. But a lot of times we don't get it because the little people like to take it and play with them. Not that they don't know about cooking it and scrambling it, but they know about throwing it. And that's crazy. But let
Food
me
is way
see.
too expensive to waste like
Be
that.
wasted, right? I'm just like, could you please stop? Don't do that. Let me see if I can find it. But like, if you have the Pratt Free Market, that's at the Southeast branch, and there is like an entirely different process in getting a ticket. Um, let me see. In getting a ticket, I want to share this one. Ah, 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 ah. Stop sharing, and then I'm gonna see if it will let me do this one properly. Why is it acting funny now? Oh, okay. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Hmm. Anne Marie needs to close some of these windows. Okay. All right. But if you just type in Pratt Free Market, you'll see that information. We do get deliveries at the Orleans branch every Wednesday. Um, and at the Brooklyn branch, I think they have canned goods and some other things. And you just come in, and if there's something that you would like for your family, you just do that. You just get something for the family. And I always tell people to go ahead and play around with the recipes. Use YouTube, take a picture of it, and go, what can I do with this? We had a lot of cauliflower once. Have you made cauliflower rice? Have you made imitation cauliflower buffalo wings? Oh, it came up. Now it decides to come up. You see it?
I'm sharing it with you all.
Oh, you're sharing it. Okay, okay, okay. Because I was like, what happened to my screen? And so again, like I said, it's they have a schedule, and while the supplies last, but it's something that's good. A lot of places people are not getting access to, fresh produce and things like that. And, we all have to be mindful of our health and wealth and strength. And, so sometimes, it's not bad to add some broccoli or some spinach every now and then to the meal, versus some other things. But it's um it's something good to know. It's another way of balancing your um your budget, in these days and times. And thanks for reminding me of that. I do have food pantry on my list. And I did not say that to you guys. But like I said, go to the prattlibrary.org, click around. You'll be surprised. Um, you'll be surprised. And they do take some volunteers, as you mentioned, as you're showing, to help out, with the food pantry. Okay. It has been a pleasure
Well, we
sharing
definitely
the
appreciate
resources.
this. Yes, we definitely appreciate this. Because again, a lot of times I don't think that we really know the resources that, the Pratt Library or any, library has to offer. And this was
Mhm,
definitely good. Good to
mhm.
know.
Yeah. And as always, I say always don't ever be afraid of just asking a question.
Yep.
Ask your question. You're going to get a yes, no, maybe I'll look into it, but you still will get an answer versus not asking at all.
Yeah. I
And
think that's a great point.
mm,
A great point, just in general. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Melanie, I thank you for like even thinking about inviting, the library into this space and
Yeah.
your clients, whatever it is that what we can help. We're just a library, but we know people. I've been in this community for a long time. I've been in Baltimore for a long time. So it
Yeah.
may be someone that I'm like, oh, this person's a GED teacher. Oh, this person is a that. This person. And I love being able to connect people to resources that
Um,
will,
that's
improve their
awesome.
lives. Yeah.
That's awesome,
So
and I know it's appreciated,
mhm,
because that's a to me, having a knowledgeable person, it's like a staple in the community. And
yeah,
again, I think it's a untapped resource.
it is. It
Yeah,
is. It
yeah.
is. And don't wait until the foot is falling off to go to the foot doctor.
There you
So,
go. That part. That's right. That's right.
yeah, but
That's right.
again, thank you very much for your
And thank
participation.
you.
Do we have any questions for the participants? Is there anything that they would love to be able to involve their children with? I know that we only had one person who told me that they had a 15-year-old. I don't know anyone with if they have any babies or younger ones, but definitely use the resources at the library. Um, and hopefully, I'll meet you in person.
Absolutely. And I want to second that too, particularly around literacy in general. Math, of course, but definitely literacy. Baltimore City public school children seem to be struggling as it relates to academics in general, but literacy is really plummeting. So what I saw tonight is a wealth of resources that can help entire families. We're talking about from the babies to teens to parents to seniors. So we should definitely tap into those resources. And I must add, everything is free. And you can't beat that, except for if you want ink copies after the first
Oh,
5,
yeah.
you know. But other than that, it's free resources. And one thing that we like to do is to connect our folks to free resources because we know it's getting tougher and tougher out here. So ask the question, like Anne Marie says, when you go to your local library, that's what they're there for. They're a
Mhm.
wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge. So just ask the
And if
question.
you didn't get the answer from that one,
Go to
they're
another
more
one.
like so,
Go to another.
if there's an answer to be got and you really want it, just keep asking. That's
Yep.
all I got to tell you.
Yep.
And be prepared to follow, follow along some of the recommendations because one of the things that I know for sure is this. If you are a patient person and you come to me for help, I will go down that rabbit hole with you
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that you can actually get some kind of assistance in
Mm-hmm.
what you're trying to do. But it takes patience on both sides,
Yep.
because in addition to your question, we as librarians, especially for me, being in the field for so long, some days I just feel as if I shift I shift because I'm doing books, I'm doing story time, I'm doing someone doing crazy stuff in the bathroom, I'm doing something that's not working, I'm doing the staff members calling out. So we're my brain is like,
Yeah, I get it. I
and
get it.
I'm coming up on that age, girl. I'm coming up on that age.
Look, we all are. We all are.
Woo! So you got to catch the brain when the brain is
Yeah,
working. So,
yeah. That
but
part.
yeah, but it's fantastic. I see you next time. I'm sure.
Yeah.
When are you coming back?
I'll send you some
We'll
dates
send us dates.
for next. Is it next month?
Probably
Yeah, next month.
next April.
Yeah,
Into April. Okay.
April. I'll send you a couple dates for April and May.
Okay, not a problem at all. It
All
was
right.
nice to meet you all, Miss Tammy. Good luck with your son calling regarding what we talked about. I hope everything works out, and you know, have a good night.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you
All
all for
right.
joining. Thanks, Amarie. All
Good night.
right. Good night.